So one way you can add, you don't need to add it here. I'm going to remove it very quickly. But basically, saying, for instance, I can remove this. Instead, I can add sd.markdown, say total inventory, and then sd.divider. Okay. Why the markdown didn't work? Because I forgot to add this one. Okay. So you can try to change this layout with the elements you have, and come up with a nice design that fits into your app design. But this is your choice, and each one of them require a little bit of just back and forth. All right, let's focus on the order. What we want to do, I'm going to do this. I'm going to this time add a tab here, two tabs, tab 1 and tab 2. sd.tabs. Tab 1 is going to be add new order. Tab 2, cancel order. Okay, so let's add this with tab 1 pass, with tab 2 pass. I think this is good initially to set up the structure, adding these passes and building the foundation, and then one at a time go inside each tab and try to expand it, try to add the codes inside each tab. First, now I can move this down and then now focus on tab 1. This is going to be SD, let's say subheader, okay, add new order. Okay. Let's see how if we click on orders, now we can see this cancel order and add new order. We can remove this st.markdown. We no longer need this st.markdown we had under development. Okay. So I remove this from here, and this is our order now. Run this, and this is our application. Add new order with st.container border true. Let's put everything in a container. For a new order, I think from your homework, you needed to select an item and then a quantity. So for the selected item, you would have two different options to build that. I'm going to use the one that probably we used in the middle of the semester when we loaded the whole list into the select box. Selected item sd.select box. Select or yes, items. One option was that let's look at the items list, extract the titles, and then show the title to the user. And after the user selects the title, then search through the items to find the item with that title. That has some issues because you're checking with the titles and sometimes the items have the same title. The other alternative option is to use the options and then pass the whole inventory list. Store the inventory list in the options. If we go back to the UI, okay, do you see this now? Now in the select box, every item is shown with the whole information, with the whole dictionary, the item ID, name, blueberry, right? We store the inventory, or like we pass the inventory to options, and now it shows us each one of these items, the item ID, the name, then so on. One thing we want to do, we want to fix this. We don't want to show to the user all this information. We only want to show the user the name of the item. So here I will use format func. It's an argument. It allows you to build the text inside the text select box, format function. In order to build a string, we need to use the lambda x. Lambda x says for each x, or for each item in the options, item in the options, you're going to show this string. For the string, I'm going to use the f string. I'm going to use f string. For the f string, inside the double quotation, you can create this curly brackets and say what you want to show in the string. For this case, for each x, we want to show name. Here, each x is just one item in the inventory. For every item in the inventory, show the item name. That's what it is saying. So it says for every item in the inventory, show item name. Just use that as an x. Okay. So first, options, we placed inventory in options, and then format function, lambda x, that's for x, for every item in the inventory, which is our option. For every option in the options list, create this string. If I go back, okay, do you see this? Let's see how it changes now. Changes to, okay, this should be one string for me. One string. Okay. Now it changed it to espresso, like the title, the names. It is still passing the whole dictionary, but only showing one, like the string, the same way that you built it. You built it in the format function. Okay, it is showing based on what you have here. If you add other things to this string, it will still show you what you added here in the string. I will just show you an example. If you say show x name and x, okay, and x, let's say item ID, which we don't need here. I'm going to just show you that you can build different type of strings here. If you do that, what it shows you, it shows you the item ID. The best thing that you can do here, maybe you want to show, instead of item ID, you can show a stock, for example. At least that will indicate something about the item. I will add this as stock here. Okay. So here you're just creating the string that you want to show in the select box. Okay. that you're creating the string that you want to show in the select box. The title, the stock amount, for how many stocks you have from the item. And then we had the quantity. Our quantity was std number input was quantity. Let's say minimum value, we'll set it to 1, and then a step 1. So with st.number input, we need to specify the step to 1, so it increases with every one point, or basically an integer. If you don't put it as an integer, then it might change it to decimals, and it increases in decimal increments. Now, if you put like add to this quantity, it will increase it as a number. Right. Okay. Great. Now let's add the button. If st.button here, we'll name the button as create order key order ETN type primary. This container with that's true. If the user clicks on create on the button, we can start with the st.spinner. So with st.spinner, let's spin this with recording or creating the order or something like that. The st.spinner. We can start here with calculating the total. So what is total? Total is quantity multiplied by, here's the good thing about the method we use. When the user selects an item, what is stored in the selected item is a dictionary, is the complete information about the item, not just one title. So here I can simply use selected item, and then from the selected item, what we have is the unit price. Unit price. And then next, we want to find the item in the inventory and reduce the quantity. Reduce a quantity from the, or take the quantity from the stock. So for an item in the inventory, if item ID is equal to selected item ID. If that's set, then item stock should be item stock minus quantity. And then break. It's much better if we use this method for the select box because we're passing the whole dictionary. Now, when the user selects it, we have the whole dictionary. We don't have to one time search for the title, one time search for the ID or anything. We have the selected item, which is a dictionary. Then each time, whenever we need it, we will actually know exactly which item is selected. We will know which item is selected. We updated the inventory, Now we are ready to add the order to the orders list. Orders dot append. Okay, orders dot append ID. For ID, we already used imported that UUID. Recall that. We are going to use it, but we need to pass the str, a string version. UUID dot UUID for just the version. This will create a unique ID. This will create a unique ID for this record. I'll create a unique ID for that record. Then we have the what do we have? Oh, item ID. Okay, item ID, selected item ID. Quantity is quantity. Then status is placed. And total is total. Right. So we use the UID for generating a new ID, unique ID for this order. And then selected item, again, we have the item ID, every information about this selected item. So we can actually use that in recording this information, then quantity, place, and total. Now, both lists are updated. We need to record that. We need to record the changes into our persistent file. That's why now it's good time to use this vid. Use the open function and say pass JSON pass inventory. And this time we are writing as F. Write the changes using JSON dot dump, and that will be our inventory list, and add a comma in F, so it will record it. The same way for the orders. You want to open the pass for the order and then do the dump. This way it will record the updated information. So with open JSON pass orders, and it is W as F JSON dot dump orders. All right. Done. We are at the end of this section. We want to do a few things. So when the user records the information, let's do it in a step. Let's direct the user first. Let the user know that it is recorded now. Then direct it to the home page. Let me show you one new thing. sd.balloons. You like balloons? Okay. And that's it. sd.balloons. And then parentheses. Time dot asleep 5 seconds, and then st.session_state page will be set to home before we force a rerun. Then st.rerun. Then st.rerun. All right, let's see how it works now. I'm going to select this item and then create order. Let's see how this works. See the balloons. For some reason, the balloons come up very quickly. I haven't figured out how to make it like put up a delay here. It is supposed to come later, but it comes sooner, even though we have the delay for some reason. This is just a Streamlit, some limits with the Streamlit, but that's okay. All right. We can see that now we have 2 orders. We've added 2 orders, we've recorded them, and we are seeing changes. We've made change to item 2. Item 2, and then we created that, and we can see the 2 orders we have. Any question? Okay. Let's now think about adding a chatbot to this page. We are going to make a small changes here. First, I want to add just below this tab 1. Let me see how is the layout. Out new order. Yes, okay. Just under tab 1, we're going to add a column layout. So col 1 and col 2. st.columns. Let's divide the area to 3, 3. Let's divide the area to 3, 3. Col 1, col 2. And put everything that we had for add new order into col 1. So with col 1, everything that we have, let's push it 1 tab. Select everything you have in this section, and then put 1 tab in it so it moves 1 indentation. And this is your col 1. So when you close col 1, everything is inside col 1. Everything is inside col 1 now. From st.solve header. If you go back to the application and rerun the page, now this is your layout. All right. Now let's close col 1. We no longer need col 1. Add col 2 with col 2. With col 2, st.subheader chatbot, or yes, chatbot AI assistant. And add a st.ai assistant. Let me run this. This is our AI assistant chatbot section. Again, I'm going to add columns here. I want to see that you can go into each layout and actually divide it into layouts. Just requires thinking to how it fits into your design. So as we'll call this col 1, 1, col 2, 2. And I get mixed with the other one. st.columns. And I'm going to divide it into 2, 2. with call11, call11. Let's say st.caption. Try asking how I can, and how can I add a new order with call to pass. Leave it for pass for now. We'll get back to it later. So let's see what we have for now. This is SD caption. It's a small text that gives you a little bit of additional information. All right. Great. Now, let me explain one thing about the chatbot. The chatbot is a set of conversations between the AI assistant and a user, right? So you're dealing with two roles. Role one is the assistant, the other role is the user. And then each role has a content, has a message. So basically you're dealing with two elements, the role and the content of the conversation, okay? We've learned if we want to remember what happened in the past, we need to record it in the session state. We need to record it in the session state. That's how we can log things that are happening. So let's create, yes. Yeah. Let's create a new session key which stores the messages. Let's create a new session key that stores the messages. Where we created this session key, I'm going to create it there. Okay, go to the top of the page and create it if messages not in st.session_state, then st.session_state messages. If the key is not initialized yet, initialize it. I said this is a list of conversations, so this is going to be a list. It is going to be a list. Then every conversation has two elements, the role and the content. The role and the content. So it tells me every conversation is just a dictionary with two elements. Role, for example, role here is assistant. And then content. This is going to be the, we are initializing this conversation. Let's have a conversation started with the AI. Hi, how can I help you? That's it. This is our initial state for the conversation. Okay. This is what we added here. If messages not in session state, st.session state messages equals a list. We are going to record the conversation inside that list. Every conversation, every interaction is one dictionary, including two things, the role and then the content. Now, let's go back to that section where we were building the chatbot. We're going to start with this. What's a chatbot? It's just a container with the text in it. So let's create a container with a st.container. Border true. Then let's add a height for it. I'm going to add the height to 250. This is the container that shows the conversations. So with the container, I need to load the conversations in the area. So for message in sd.session_state messages. This part is a little bit new because we haven't talked about had a chance to use a chatbot. Streamlit has this with sd dot chat message. Okay, with chat message. If you use the with sd dot chat message, it adds an icon to every conversation, making it look like a chatbot. So this is going to be the message role. Depending on the message role, it will set an icon to the chat. And then you can write, for example, I think even like you can use a markdown as well here. Message, this one is the content. So with SD, the chat message role, depending on the message role, it will show a different icon. I'll show it now in just a second. It will choose a different icon and then show the message. Okay, let me run this. Okay, you see this? Just that chat message adds a unique icon for the user and for the assistant. If the assistant shows this one and then the content of the message. This is your container. You set it to 250. Now you need to add another thing here. Let's go here outside the container. Outside that container. User input. What's user input? sd dot chat input. Ask a question. Okay, sd.chat input, ask a question. Let's go back and run this. And this is your chatbot design, layout design. Okay, this is your container. It's a scrollable. You're going to add other features here. And this is your chatbot. Now, the user input, yes. Check the areas to make sure that the indentions are correct. Are the indentions correct? We are placing it in the line with the std container. It might be before like related to the prior content, prior line content. Double check it. If it didn't work, I will check it just after the session. Okay. So if user input, you see, it looks like a button, right? If the user enters the information, what should happen? What do we do with the buttons? sd dot, so with sd dot spinner thinking, or whatever you want to put it here. Now, we want to remember it. We want to remember it. So sd dot session state messages, it's a list. We want to append the new conversation to that list. We want to append the new conversation to that list. First conversation we want to add is what the user provided. So what is this? It's a dictionary. Role. What is the role? Is user. What is the content? User input. We are adding the message to the messages. Adding message to the messages. Now, For now, let's think that we connected the AI and AI gave us a response. So there will be an AI response. The AI response is this. I could not find an answer for it. Try again. Okay, it's okay. This was the AI response. So you get the AI response. Again, it's a message, and you need to record it to the list of messages so you remember it. So st dot session state messages dot append, again a dictionary. Here role is assistant and content is AI response. Content is AI response. Let's add a delay, time dot sleep 2 seconds, and then we need to rerun the page so it shows us the updated information. Okay, so you see every time there is an interaction, you specify who's giving you the information, assistant or user, and then content. Simple. Every interaction has two features: the role, who made that conversation, and the content of the conversation. That's it. You're done. We can come here and run this. Okay. Orders. Okay. So you see now it is coming here. Next. You can see that here. You can set up your area with the size of that container. You can like add other features. You can even like add here to the user input. Okay. What is it? File type, file upload, I think, something like that. Was it accept file? Accept file. And you can set it to true, accept file. Can set it to true. It's just a simple for the user chat input. And then when you run it, you can see that it shows you this. Okay, so it's your chatbot. One more thing, you can finish this here. Call to, we've left it. What is call to? Let's add this. If sd.button clear, key is clear chat btn. We want to add a button.
Would that be equal to the one you just typed? Would that be call to too, or?
No, this is not part of the call one or call two. Okay, so that's a good question. I wanted to make sure that you see you actually can build code, and then after that, if you place it outside this is under that column. It's basically created two columns, and then after that, you have the whole in oriented or area for it. So with that, I will do this very quickly. What should we do with the clear? Just return the messages to its initial state. Okay, so go back to this part. This was your initial state. Session state messages, role assistant, and how I can help you. And place it into that button. I will just tap this here a little bit. And then st.rerun. Clear means returning a state to its initial state. So we added that. I will go here. We are out of time. We have the button here now, clear. I will clear. And now we've cleared the chatbot. That's about it. All right. Let me give you the code, and I will push this code to GitHub just in case you want to check it out later. Great. Thank you. If you have questions, I will like to answer it. Make sure to start thinking about your project and think of it as a final project and what you want to work as a final project. And then in the first phase, you're working on your final project. So you have a lot of time to work on the idea and develop it, and then give me just a condensed version of your idea in your proposal. I'll see you on Friday on Zoom.
What coming on Zoom?
Hmm?
We'll be on Zoom.
Yes. Friday session is on Zoom.
You said that. Rough draft, nice running. Yeah. I post on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty more harsh.
Okay, yes.